But you better believe that I am going to have the highest standards for how I am treated.
Believe in gender equality.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so how do you reconcile believing in gender equality, but also holding men to their traditional gender roles of paying for the first date?
Well, I'm just saying that's my personal view. A woman being a feminist is just doing whatever you want to do.
Did you know that there are some psychological ways to find out what someone actually thinks of you? As a therapist with a doctoral degree in psychology, I have literally spent my life studying human behavior, so I know that these things are true.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again, and on today's episode we are going to be covering a video here from Locke the Bounty Hunter on why modern women fail to find relationships, and we are going to be kicking it off with this woman right here who says that her standards are not too high, but why am I still single? Why can I not find a boyfriend? She says that, you know, she's not being too picky, her standards are not too high, but it's the men who are at fault. There are just no good men. Where are all of the good men? And we also have one or two other women which we're going to be covering today, but we're going to start with this woman right here who says that her standards are not too high. Why am I single? Let's jump in.
May I express a thing to you? I would like to express a thing. I am single, and I get so annoyed when people say, well, don't you think you're too picky? Do you think your standards are too high? No, sir. No, ma'am. I sure don't. And here's why. I don't have time to date someone just for fun. Okay? I don't have time to waste my time. I am not out here requiring guys to be a certain height or a certain weight or to have a certain eye color or hair color. I would get that. Those standards might be a little too picky, but
that is absolute nonsense. Okay, guys, women live, particularly with dating, on easy mode. Okay, they have dating on the easiest possible difficulty that there is. And so what this means is that if you have a woman who is, I don't know, 25 years of age, 30 years of age, whatever the case may be, and she still does not have a boyfriend, she still does not have a long-term relationship, or, you know, she's going into her 30s and she's still not married, she could have had these things. Okay, there are men absolutely everywhere who shoot their shot with women. Okay, it doesn't matter. You could be the most aggravating woman of all time, there is still going to be some simp in your DMs. Okay, but the reason why a lot of these women are single, right, is number one, because men don't want to deal with them, right? The options, the guys that they want don't want to deal with them. But number two, their standards are just too high. They say that their standards are really low. You know, I'm not chasing superficial things, but they absolutely are. If you're a woman who is 30 years of age, 25 years of age, and you're still single, that's your own choice. Okay, you think that your standards, you think that you deserve more than you're getting from men. So let's continue.
Or to have a certain eye color or hair color. I would get that. Those standards might be a little too picky. But you better believe that I am going to have the highest standards for how I am treated.
Yeah, that sounds like a load of horse malarkey, sister. Let me explain something to you. You have no excuse in this day and age to be single. Not at least at your age. There is an army of men out there who'd be more than happy to put up with you, but you denied all of them because those men weren't a specific height, they didn't have the right hairstyle, eye color, or that teeny tiny slight issue of not being rich enough for you. And that's on you, lady. You could have avoided all of this, but doing so would force you to admit that A, you're not perfect, B, not living in a fantasy world, and C, your standards are far too high. And all of this could have been avoided if you just humbled yourself a bit. But then again, you're a modern woman. If you humbled yourself, that would imply that you're not queen of the universe. And we all know you can't have that.
You don't want to put true effort into talking to me and getting to know me? Okay, there's someone else out there who will. You want to not respond to me for days and not give me any explanation? Okay, you won't hear from me again.
You know, the beautiful thing about these videos, guys, is that you have women like this who will say that, oh, I won't accept men unless they put in the best effort. You know, men have to be attentive to me. They have to take me out on dinner dates. They have to give me all this attention. They have to give me what these women are calling these days princess treatment, right? Men have to do all of these things if they want to date me, or else I'm not going to date you. But the real kicker here, guys, is that Chad, a man who is attractive to this woman, does not have to do any of this. He doesn't have to answer your calls. He doesn't have to talk to you very often. He doesn't have to take you seriously. He doesn't have to marry you. He gets to have fun with you for free. But all of the other guys, oh, no, you have to treat her like a princess, despite the fact that she is not a princess and she has not been behaving like a princess. But of course, you have to come in and be a traditional man for a woman who is not traditional.
You want to not respond to me for days and not give me any explanation? Okay, you won't hear from me again.
It's very funny when women say crap like this, because it just tells you that she has done this in the past. With men who are attractive, she will not care if she will still see the man. She will still go have some fun with the guy if he doesn't respond to her for a few days. She'll pick up her phone immediately when he replies after 2 days of not talking to her. Okay? But the average guy, he has to give her bucket loads of attention. Mind you, by the way, guys, a man who actually does all of these things for women is just ignored anyway. You know, go out there and try answering her text messages immediately and giving her all of the attention that she says that she wants. It's not going to work. She'll just ignore the average guy who does these things.
You like me, but you're not ready for something serious? Okay. Good luck to you. But we're not going to date or do anything romantic. If I am consistently dating someone, it is because I see a potential future with that person. I'm well aware every relationship has its faults. I'm well aware nobody is perfect. But I will not tolerate disrespect. I will not stay in a place that I feel I don't belong or that I feel I'm not appreciated. And I will not compromise my standards for anyone. Period. I don't set standards for others that I can't meet myself. If I am expecting something from someone, it's because I expect the same from me.
Congratulations!
Hold the phone there, lady. You just said that you're not here to waste time, but then you've just described the textbook scenarios of trying to force one Dr. Pookie McRae, PhD, to commit to you, which is a classic case of wasting your most fertile years of your life in exchange for feeling like you have a shot at getting your Disney princess fantasy fulfilled. The good doctor didn't have to respond to your text or commit to you because he had 12 of you on speed dial and he knew that you would submit every single time. And regardless of how adequate of bedroom fun you provided, if you became a pain in his neck, he was going to move on to the next chick and leave you to figure out the mess. You need to face reality, woman, and that mess is obvious. The good doctor left the refrigerator door open, and now your eggs are starting to spoil. At this point in your life, you have absolutely no right to be picky at all.
If my standards aren't your cup of tea, guess what? You don't have to date me. It's fine. You do you. You have the standards you want. You have the expectations you want. But don't tell me that mine are too high, or that I'm expecting too much, or that I'm not going to find what I'm looking for. Because you want to know a secret? Yes, I would like to be in a relationship someday, but there is no way in heck I am settling just to be in one. If I happen to not find what I'm looking for, okay, then I'll be single. One of my favorite quotes is, I know what I bring to the table, so I'm not afraid to eat alone. I'm not out here looking for a relationship that's just okay or is pretty good. I'm out here looking for the real thing. I'm not here to waste my time or someone else's time.
I absolutely love this, guys, because, you know, I'm all for women's empowerment, right? If you want to sit here and you want to say, well, I'm going to be single, I'm going to keep on looking until the end of my days, bravo to you, Queen. I think that you are strong and empowered. You know, you're more than welcome to do this. You've got this. You will find your Prince Charming. Just keep those standards nice and high. Just keep them real high, and then we'll check back in with you, and we'll see how you're going. Okay, guys, I think it's totally fine, right? If women want to get on here and they want to have these unrealistic standards, which, you know, let's cut the nonsense, okay? If this woman is single, it's because she has unrealistic standards. If you want to have these standards, that's totally fine. Just don't complain when men won't date you, right? She says here that she's totally fine living the rest of her life alone and ending up with the cats and whatever the case may be. And I think that's fantastic. I think that's very, very strong and independent of you. I encourage you to continue this behavior. And then, you know, down the line, you'll become some more content for the channel. Okay, it's absolutely excellent stuff because, you know, these women, they're keeping themselves single, guys. And they would rather be single than to actually date a realistic man, right? They want that chance to be able to go out there and date that dude on Instagram who's very attractive with a lot of followers. They would rather reserve the chance at chasing him than to actually be in a relationship with a man who cares about her. Isn't that absolutely insane?
If it's not the real thing, I don't want it.
Well, my response to that is get used to eating alone while surrounded by couples, because that's your future. Here's the problem. You got it backwards. You're focusing too much on what a man can provide for you when you really shouldn't be doing that. Men are going to take one look at you and realize the price of a cup of coffee just to have an awkward conversation on a first date is too high of a price. You are in no position to be thinking about your demands. What you should be asking yourself is how you can make yourself worthy to the men you actively ignored for the last decade and a half. Why should the average Joe want to date you and try to give you the real thing? No self-respecting man is going to do that. You're too self-absorbed and desperate. And the self-respecting man deserves the real thing as well, which is something you're incapable of providing. So you should probably take my advice and stock up on cat food and boxed wine before the price surges again. Trust me, sister, you're going to need it.
Would you describe yourself as a feminist?
Yes.
Do you believe
Okay, so we're going to be jumping to the next clip here. And you can already tell that this is going to be terrible. All of these podcast clips, guys, there is a reason why I typically don't cover them myself. I don't go digging for these clips and have a look at them. That's because they are absolutely headache-inducing, right? You already know this is going to be terrible. And a lot of this stuff, I just want to highlight this before we continue. It is entirely self-inflicted. This is why I don't feel bad for these women. This is why I don't feel empathy for them. You know, back when I actually, quick story time, guys, not many of you may know this, but back when I started the channel, right, I would cover some of these clips and I would say, hey, listen, you know, if you want me to take them down or whatever, if you're the original creator of the video, I'll take them down for you. I'll do that favor for you. But, you know, I got a lot of women messaging me asking me to take down their videos because, oh, that's not what they meant, and all of this nonsense, and oh no, I don't think like that, that's not really me, blah blah blah. So I eventually just stopped taking the video clips down because it falls under fair use. But you've got to understand, guys, that I don't have any empathy for these women because it's entirely self-inflicted. Entirely. If you're a woman and you end up 60 years of age alone with cats and you've still got to work because you don't have any retirement and all of this stuff, that's totally on you. You could have had a good man, you could have had a life, you could have had the kids and all of this, but you would rather be a womanist who is strong and independent. And who am I? Who are we as men to deny you your strength and independence? So let's jump into this next clip here. And you can already tell this is going to be a shocking one because it's from a podcast. Let's take a listen.
describe yourself as a feminist?
Yes.
Do you believe in gender equality?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so how do you reconcile believing in gender equality, but also holding men to their traditional gender roles of paying for the first date?
Well, I'm just saying that's my personal view. A woman can, being a feminist is just doing whatever you want to do. And
Couldn't have said it better myself, guys. Straight from the horse's mouth. Being a womanist is just doing whatever it is that you want to do. Flip it and ship it, honestly.
being a feminist is just doing whatever you want to do and not being bashed by society for that. And
no offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
So in other words, you think feminism is a get out of responsibility card. This is why your modern feminist is a complete and utter hypocrite. Well, let's be fair, they would be if they were capable of spelling such a complicated word, but I digress. Feminists like to pretend that they're oppressed, so therefore they should be allowed to sleep around, start up only freaks accounts, and accumulate psychological damage like they do clothes and trinkets, but also at the same time think that men need to be gentlemen and watch them shove overpriced food down their gullets and pay for the experience. However, when you ask a feminist how they're oppressed, their typical examples usually involve stuff that happened over 100 years ago, or things that are so lazily researched that a simple 5-minute Google search will completely destroy their arguments. So I think what you meant to say was that you don't feel like you should have to take any accountability for your actions while still expecting to be treated like a proper lady by society. Sorry, doesn't work that way, sister.
I love the argument, guys, that men have to pay for women's dinner dates because women were oppressed 50 years ago. How crazy is that? You know what I'm saying? Like that is absolutely insane. Men have to, so a strong and independent woman, guys, is saying that men have to pay for her dinner dates, pay for her dinner, because other women in the past were, by her definition, oppressed. This is absolutely genius. Now, this woman in particular doesn't directly say that, but she says even worse, basically, which she says womanism is a get out of jail free card because women should be able to do whatever it is that they like without any social repercussions from society. And that's just not how it works, okay? If you show all of your nonsense on, you show your body parts on the internet, you can be damn sure that people are going to judge you. You want to act like a clown, people are going to judge.
Obviously, standing up for like women's like rights and stuff like that. But when I don't know, I just feel like this question's really dense.
Sensational. That's the word you're looking for.
Exactly.
Yeah, sensational.
Have you guys noticed that some of my videos have gone missing over here on YouTube? That is because I am slowly moving them over to locals where I can actually host them without the risk of getting in trouble. If you are not aware, many creators are starting to move over to places like locals, Rumble, etc. because YouTube is not really a free speech platform. So if you are interested in supporting the channel and getting access to videos that are no longer available here, make sure that you come and join us over on locals. The link will be in the video description down below. Supporters get access to their own exclusive videos that are no longer available to the public. So make sure you go to the link in the description and join us over there now. But anyway, guys, back to today's episode.
My question is, if you believe in gender equality, don't you think you ought to split the bill on the first date?
No, because my main concern with gender equality is through, like, yes, in society, like, fixing that, and through, like, the system, but...
You see, this, guys, this is why I can't cover these clips and I don't cover them often, is because I start listening to it, and then at a certain point, I'm sure many of you guys have the same experience, you just start getting an aneurysm, right? The girls are talking, things start to get a little bit fuzzy, and all of a sudden I just pass out from the stupidity. My brain cannot take it.
That and through, like, the system, but yeah, I don't, oh my god.
Shut up! This is totally different!
The question isn't dense, woman. You're dense because you know you're wrong. But there's this belief amongst modern women that if they ever admit the truth to themselves, then that truth gremlin is gonna appear to steal their phone and delete all of their social media accounts right before taking all of their designer clothes and making tiny red stains in the most inconvenient of places, like around the armpit area and whatnot. So instead of admitting that she needlessly feels like she's entitled to a man's money, even though she owns her own money by being an online walker of the streets, she's just gonna blame society for some oppression that doesn't exist, only to try to get out of answering specifics the only way she knows how, by having a mild emotional outburst and pretending to be a victim because the question is too hard to answer. It's a classic play from the modern women's playbook. And woman, if you want to play that card, that's fine. All you're doing is proving what we already know, and that's your brain is mostly made of styrofoam packing that's held together with masking tape and broken dreams.
I know it, your family knows it, dogs know it.
Have you ever wondered what someone is thinking of you? Well, did you know that there are some psychological ways to find out what someone actually thinks of you? Could be a friend, the person you like, your boss, literally anyone. As a therapist with a doctoral degree in psychology, I have literally spent my life studying human behavior, so I know that these things are true.
And...
Well, I don't have a PhD, but I did once sleep at a reasonably priced budget hotel one time back in the mid-2010s, so I think that makes me more than qualified to comment on the subject of human pair bonding. The easiest way to find out if someone likes you is just to walk up to them and ask. Is it awkward? Of course, but so is life. But you get on with it, rip the band-aid off, and go from there. You don't need a laundry list of body language cues to figure it out. But we're already here. I got my shoes on, so let's go ahead and hear what this broad has to say. Who knows? If I'm dumb enough, I might just learn something.
So the first thing you're going to do to find out what they think of you, this is going to be a little challenging because it requires you to get vulnerable. You're going to have to open up to them a little bit. You're going to tell them about something that is really bothering you.
I love how we just do absolutely everything rather than directly communicate with people. Or, I don't know, just use common sense. I love these videos because what they are is they're just straight up scamming women, and they teach manipulation tactics to women. But the plot twist is that the women making the videos are always single, childless, and unmarried. Typically, anyway. I've always said, guys, you know, perhaps you're a little bit strapped for cash. You don't have much money. Just go be a person that lies to women on TikTok. sell a course, okay, claim that you have some useless degrees, and you're also, hell, the degrees are totally optional, by the way. You don't have to have a degree in nonsense. You can just jump on the internet, and and what you want to do is you just want to sit there and you want to lie to women, and you're good to go. Just sell a course that's like $500 or something, and all of a sudden, your issues with rent are gone, all of your bills, a thing of the past, guys.
You are going to go into detail on why this is a problem for you and why you don't know how to fix it. You're going to pay super close attention to their response. If they're like most people, they're just going to sit there and listen empathetically and do their best to be a good friend. But if they have like a special affinity for you, like if they like you, they're going to start jumping in and offering solutions to the problem. They're going to try to fix it for you. When we like someone, we subconsciously want to be their hero. So pay close attention to if they try to jump in and be the hero for you. If they do, they like you.
Nope. That would be a waste of time.
Well, that would be all well and good if modern women didn't make it clear that men are not to offer solutions when the woman gripes. For some reason, it's considered annoying. And under circumstances that are far too common these days, if a woman gets annoyed with her man for offering a solution to one of her problems, she will go to social media to dramatically rant to a degree that's almost comical. But the commenters will then tell her that her significant other is a controlling narcissist and that she needs to break up with him for her own mental health, thus planting the seeds of the destruction of the relationship. So we're better off just shutting up and doing nothing when she rants, but then she'll be convinced that we don't care about her, and then she'll turn to social media once again, where the commentary will be more or less the same thing.
Yeah, see, I think Locke is actually totally right here. You can be a guy and these women will, they'll say, oh, we want solutions, we want help. And then you provide them with help, you provide them with solutions. And then they just get on the internet and cry about it, or they sook about it absolutely everywhere. Right? You're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. And this is why a lot of dudes don't help women, right? Outside of the whole like Me Too thing, right? Where dudes can just be labeled as creeps, they can have their whole lives ruined, is that oftentimes when men do try and help you, when men do offer you solutions to your problems, they just get ridiculed for it. And what makes this video even worse is that this woman is doing this for hypothetical problems. Okay, so not only is she's taken the delusion one step further. This is why these women are single, guys. I tell you what, it's so damn annoying. She's actually taken it one step further, and she's made up a hypothetical situation for a man to come in and solve for her. So we're not even making up a real one. Again, we can't just have direct communication with somebody to solve a problem. We can't talk to someone to see if they like us. No. We have to manipulate them and try and psychologically figure them out with 35 useless degrees that we have.
Either way, we're in the wrong and we can't win.
Next thing you're going to do to find out what they think of you. Next time you walk into a room that they're already in, you are going to watch their body language so closely. Do they change their body position when you enter the room? Doesn't even matter if this is a crush relationship or a friendship situation. When someone we like enters a room, we almost always subconsciously shift our body position. This is totally subconscious and is because we want to impress them. So regardless of how they were sitting when you entered the room, if they change their position, they like you.
That doesn't make sense.
Sure, they could change their body position, but that could mean 1.5 million things, and I'm not even referring to the man's feelings towards that particular woman. Considering a modern woman will be furious with a man if she even dreams that he's cheating on her, she could react to this change in body language in over 9 dozen different ways. Let's say she walked into the room and Chad shifts in his seat to turn his back to her. What's to stop that woman from assuming that Chad's just being shy? A modern woman is going to see what she wants to see and will deny basic reality when she doesn't. And any basic reality that she can't deny, she will bend and distort until it makes sense in her own brain. That's why if an average guy shifts his weight to face her, she will immediately assume he's being creepy, and that's if she sees him at all. It may sound ridiculous because it shouldn't be nearly this common as it is nowadays.
Finally, guys, this is the kicker. This is the one subconscious thing that every person who likes you will always do. So pay close attention. The next time you're together, you're going to play a little game and start putting things in between the two of you, like your purse, a drink, it doesn't matter. If they like you, they are going to start shifting those items to the side or taking them away entirely. They'll do this subconsciously because of the primal need to remove any barriers between themselves and the person they like.
Say what now? What now?
I'll be honest with you guys. For the past, I don't know, 30, 45 seconds, I have just completely tuned out to what this woman is saying. And it's funny because she actually gives advice to women on the internet. There are so many TikTok accounts like this where you have women who are just absolutely, for lack of a better word, crazy, sitting there trying to give advice to other people. And all that it does is make those other people that even listen to them in the first place just entirely headache inducing to even be around in the first place. Absolutely genius stuff here. We're sitting here talking about the barrier rule and all of this nonsense when we could just communicate directly. But of course, we won't do this. And this is why, reason number 3,557 of why these women fail at relationships. Okay, these are the same girls that go on all day talking about how, oh, we need to, open communication, clear communication, men need to do all of this nonsense. And then they can't even communicate directly about whether or not somebody likes them. It's absolutely astounding, okay? And guys, like these girls, they are destined to have cats as they get older. They're going to start the cat board collection. You guys think I'm joking when I say this, but there are so many videos where the woman is making videos like this, or she's sitting here making videos like this one, and then you go further down her feed, you go further down their timelines, whatever they're called, right? And you see that these women, as they get older, they start to collect the cats, they get more and more bitter, blah, 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 and it just becomes content for the channel. But guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. Apologies for inducing some headaches here today. As always, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.